Of the set of Inhumans versus Annex. We've seen some great plays thus far, but we had to restart the stream due to, glitches and high res on PlayStation. But we all know what that's like, right? Let's not talk
Oh
about the
yeah, most
Morgan.
definitely.
Let's not
Yeah,
talk about the
you.
Morgan.
Alrighty, I am currently going into the game right now. I am in the loading screen. What about you, Reaper?
I am at the bands currently, but I can spectate match. I just want to make sure our viewers get the full band experience. Really here, I don't want to cut anything out, especially for the teams that come back and want to watch these for practice videos and such.
Yes, most definitely. That is definitely a good idea to do.
All right. So let's talk about their team comps. You said that the Dark Matter traded out Medusa. I mean, traded out Medusa for On Her, correct? Because
Yes.
Annex decided to steal her away.
Yeah, Dark Mantle switched from his original Medusa pick from last game into the On Her. It is really a good pick for the main fact that Medusa's ult makes them use beads, but the fact is On Her can just ult and basically nullify Medusa's ult.
So we're gonna see a head-to-head, no gives, a knife edge fight for those of you that have watched. Yeah, what is it? God damn it! It was an old favorite, good anime of kids everywhere. Yu Yu Hakusho, knife edge death battle.
Yes, most definitely. It's definitely going to be a basic to basic battle. Whoever wins the basic to basic battle, or maybe just whoever ults first, really.
I mean, Medusa paired with Fafnir equals amazing wave clear, but On Her and Kepri, now that's a recipe for an even better wave clear with the tick damage and just the wider range. And he can really do damage to people in the wave, whereas Fafnir, it's easy to avoid his hammer while staying in the wave.
Yeah, most definitely. You can't really get any better than, I mean, Kepri and On Her about have, an equal lane clear to Medusa and Fafnir. Not a Medusa and Fafnir have about an equal lane clear than a On Her and a Kepri can.
It's just the utility and the amount of damage it can output. I mean, Fafnir right now is a powerhouse of damage, healing, etc. And really, I can see why they'd want to pick him against such a sustained heavy god like Kepri. But with the Chang'e pick slipping through Annex's hands, this is going to be an uphill battle for them.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You really can't. And Susano getting through, I mean, I understand, Circuit was a massive thing last game, but, Susano getting through, it was a massive push, You have a Susano and you have a Chang'e. Basically, top tier picks for any team. That'll be a massive disadvantage to Annex right now.
I mean, I would have, yeah, definitely. Mhm, mhm, definitely. What?
You go.
No, you go. I would just say, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like having, a soul mid. That might be a little bit, of a maybe just a weird pick. Maybe he's really good with him though. We can't really, tell until we get into the game and see, what he can actually do with soul mid. Hopefully, Laminatic, can actually, do maybe a few things. Maybe, just carry the game with soul. But we'll just have to find out.
Definitely, definitely. Another thing that we want to think about is just just like why why Sobek solo?
Sobek solo, it's a really good thing against a Vamana for the main fact, Vamana, he has to build, physical defense, to actually get his power off of. So basically, all Sobek really has to do is, just buy like Pestilence, and all Sobek really is a magical, and he's a really good solo laner, if you build him right. And that'll be a really tough game, and I think Sobek will have the upper hand against a Vamana, especially early.
Oh yeah. So having having gone through the bands, now loading in. Be there in a second. Hope you still have the game paused, right?
Yeah, I do.
But I'll pause it and then we can restart. But what I want to talk about right here before we even get into the game is, would you personally on your team, or if you have a team with your friends, would you have let the Susano pick go? I feel like personally I would not have, because Susano can do AoE damage and multiple damage, hunt down, etc. With Circuit's more high damage single target. What are your
Yeah,
opinions?
There was no way I'd let either Chang'e or Susano go. Those are top tier bands and they should always be banned in my personal aspect. I understand, what Serket did last game, but you've got to think that she is a single target. I really just feel like if they would have had more ward placements or, more like actual group ups, then they would have been able to take out Serket very easily.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's start this stream in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alrighty, I'm going to start out this time at Inhuman side. You can start out at Annexes.
Sure, definitely no problem there. So what do you think about the Neath pick? I mean, about the Nemesis pick. Why the Nemesis pick?
Nemesis is actually a counter to Susano. Maybe I have seen Yeti do this a few times. I've seen him actually try, to counter Susano with a Nemesis, just mainly because, Nemesis has the shield. And, that reflective damage maybe he can do to Susano. Maybe, dash out of his ult a few times, maybe do that. I personally, I wouldn't have went Nemesis, just for the main fact that, Nemesis is, like you said, she's like Serket in that advantage. She's a single target god, Susano can hit multiple targets and, make a big catastrophe for a team. That's what I really want to see Susano do this game.
C-Don pausing here out of courtesy for us, wanting to make sure the stream stays up. Big thank you to him for doing that. Just giving us some more time.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, C-Don. That is a very good job of pausing and actually watching the stream and, seeing where we're at on the stream compared to where they are in the game.
Mm-hmm. It definitely helps when they start a little like towards the end of the game, because then we're able to just start spectating so we don't miss anything. We're able to keep up with them, etc. and so on. It also gives them a little bit of a break to talk about strategy. I was thinking about adding an addendum in the league rules to maybe give a 5 to 10 minute break in between games, so teams can just really sit down and talk about what happened last game, etc. and plan around it instead of this rapid pace back to back thing.
Yeah, most definitely. When you're having, in any game you think of, when you're having basically a game out of 3, if you're winning, like, let's say you win both of them, that's great, whatever. But, like, you need that time in between to talk about strategy, because there's things that you really can't expect or really can't hold back from each game.
Definitely. How do you feel about the Hi-Rez's choice to go with the split system? So just 2 games and that's it.
I really, honestly, in my opinion, I think there should be a 4-game series, in my opinion. Just for the main fact that first game really I'm not saying it could be a fluke, but it could have been, just one play difference. Maybe just, a Fire Giant steal, like we've seen in these games before, with like TNZ's chalk steal of Fire Giant yesterday, was a truly impressive thing. That could just be the deciding factor of each game.
Definitely, and we saw that TNZ off that Fire Giant steal was able to just change momentum, but because they had such poor early game and lost so many towers and hadn't been able to push, that they weren't able to make much off of it. They were almost they were maybe inches away from victory, only to be shut down by the enemy towers.
Yeah, there's nothing you really can do, especially when you're pushed up that far, like the end pushed them that game. And especially like last game, even if like a Giannis stole Fire Giant from Inhumans last game, they wouldn't really have been able to come back anyways, for the fact that they were already all the way pushed up to their Phoenixes. Actually, I think even one Phoenix was down. Having 2 Phoenixes up, you have to defend. And if you can't get a pick off defense, and you don't have somebody that can actually peel for you with a support, it's very hard to still stay alive as a squishy.
Definitely. And looking at Inhumans team comp, just so much peel. Sobek himself, Chang'e, Sobek, Susano, literally their whole team has peel for themselves. Honor can push you off with his ability. Sobek can just dash, steal you. Susano, you're not getting away from him. Get over here, right? And then Chang'e with her stun ult. Yep. And then the Khepri pull. I'm expecting some great plays out of that team comp. It doesn't seem like it's a rotation heavy team comp, but what it is I'm gonna initiate on my terms and then get out on my terms team.
Yeah, how do you think about the build so far? I know we only see like maybe like, yeah, I know on right now on Anix's side, I'm seeing like a Bancroft Talon by Soul right now. Do you agree with that against a Soul though?
I mean, against the Chang'e, I feel like she has to. She wants the early game spike damage, try to shut her down, perhaps. You know, try to just win the game early for her team in mid lane.
Yeah, I agree with it personally. It's definitely you need that early lane pressure that Bancroft might be able to give you. You know, even if like you were to get a kill, if your jungle is gonna play really aggressive, you know with like a let's say we have a Hades mid, or in this case a Soul mid, and you know more than likely we'll see we do not see a Nemesis Sunder this time. I was figuring he was going to go Sunder with that Nemesis, but now he's going Beads. So that's probably a better pick, just for the main fact there's so many people you need Beads for in this game right now on Inhuman side.
Yeah, Susanoo, everyone really.
Yeah, Susanoo, Sobek, Kepri, Chang'e. I mean, there's so many people you need to buy Beads for.
And I've seen them run into some sort of lag at 4 seconds. Would you mind pausing the game for a moment?
Yes, I could. Right now I am currently at 16 seconds.
This is unfortunate, really. Nothing I can do about it. I don't understand what's going on.
I know Dark Mantle paused right after
No, unfortunately, it won't let
after
me even
John.
switch, so it might be a Smite error. It looks like I'm gonna have to restart my application again. Sorry, folks. That is crazy that I am having these problems.